Couple more things and I'm ready to rock and roll. Yeah. Hi, TJ! I need 2 more things and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm sure this audio sounds great while I open up plastic. Okay. I'm here. I'm back. I'm ready. Here. Yeah. Oh. Let me do this upper hair because I put it right in my way. Don't mind my super messy desk. This is always. I usually keep my laptop here. Yeah. Busy. Gotta love it. Oh wait, evil glitter. By the way, since I'm pretty sure CJ's still with me, this is one of those eggs I was talking about making. That's another one that's all cast up and ready. I got 3 more of these, I think, that are ready to go right now. Doing those tomorrow just because they're addictive. Bumble. Lego that got broke in the middle where I put some stands so he had something to stand on. So I gotta recast that and hopefully it works right this time, which it should. So I'm not using the cheater resin this time. And that's my keyboard for my tablet that I need later. So look for, here's where I put my real phone. And 1 second while I pull up my own speed so I can watch chat a little easier, and then we'll be off to the races. Okay. Okay. Of course, I'm not going to 10%. Awesome. All right. Oh, I didn't grab. I forgot to grab seashells for those. I think I have some in the kitchen. The joys of being a maker, you got random stuff everywhere. It reminds me, I got to send somebody a message too. And this is just sand I mixed in with a little UV resin. It's going to take a minute to set up, so I want to pour this. Actually, I want to put this down a couple layers so I know it gets nice and hard. So, your dirty jokes to yourself. My earbud case keep you there? We're just going to put some of this stuff on, smush it around in a thin layer. I want to get it up under the bottom rim of the glass. And there's that, and get this out of the way of that so it don't harden that. I gotta go grab these shells that I've got somewhere up here. Well, that first layer hardens up, and we will. I like that in the kitchen. I love my bathroom shelf. Again, I'm a maker. I got crap everywhere. Use that one. That one. Yes! And yes, it is your mom's glass. No. When I get off of here, I got a couple of ideas that's something you might be interested in, Cassie. I was going to talk to you offline. Or you could have just accepted the other friend request from my personal Facebook, but whatever. I feel the love. Yeah. Of course, if you didn't know it was me, it probably looks like some kind of scammer. But we have a mutual friend now, so I think it'll make it clear who it is. At least I think I did. It'll be even funnier if I didn't actually know. I'll have to track you down later because I'm limited with what I can do right now. Especially because my personal phone's about to die. I don't have a charger in here. I don't want to run away again. But hey, your mom accepted it right away, so I don't know why you have to be that way. Tacky but hard. Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Cassie. No worries. Do I have my UV resin up here? Could have swore I just saw it. Okay, who hid my bottle of UV resin? I know I just saw it up here a minute ago. I turned my little light off because I thought it helped the UV look a little cooler. Where on earth did that? Found it. Then with my paint. Yeah, you can't have a beach theme without at least a couple seashells. Come on. Yeah. Well, the other one's done, but the laser engraving, I think, on this one looks way better. So that's the only reason I'm redoing it, because, you know, I don't like letting subpar stuff go. Hi, Scout. Have a good one, Scout. Well, the first one wasn't up to my standards, so, you know, there's that. Especially now that I found the paint that actually works good for getting stuff engraved properly. It's actually kind of funny. I got a bottle there. I got a bottle over there. I got 3 more glasses behind me, and I think that looks like about 12 or 16 coasters sitting next to me, all painted up, ready to go. I want to get a more powerful UV light. Actually, I should fix the one I have that the cord broke on it. What? Once I find something I like to make sure I got enough on hand. Especially because I still got, I think it's 60 or 80 more coasters left to get painted. That way, whenever somebody wants something, I can just throw them on the laser and go. And I also got this. He's so pretty. Even though it has a couple air bubbles. I did turn my light off right. Cool. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, magic's about as addictive. I won't deny that. I never got into it, but I know lots of people that did. And that's actually a different one. I did one on the live stream, and then this one needs recast because it fell apart. But there's my little Lego dude, all cast in resin, ready to go. And then the bottom where I gave him a sandy beach to stand on, and it fell apart in the middle. So now he's going to have a green base around the sand, and it's going to be an even bigger egg. Legal! I can't find the other one. I ordered two, and I'm kind of ticked off because I was just going to recast the other one and order a couple more, or at least one more to have one to play with, but I was like, I can't find them, so now I got to try to fix it. I was going to do that anyway, but yeah, and while we're talking about eggs, that's one of the blanks I have before I cut it down with my tools. But yeah, nah, they're addictive. I'm hoping so. I really hope that the resin fills the micro scratches that are in that one, so when I redo it, it turns clear. Because if it's hazy, I'm going to be ticked off. But, you know, it is what it is. If I have to, I redo it from the ground up and order another guy. Because I've got one to fix, and then, you know, I'm just waiting for my toy. Because you can't order a custom Lego guy and not have at least one to play with. Alright. To quote MC Hammer, it's resin time. I'm not even going to try to pour this where you guys can see it, so... Alright. I'm really hoping 8 ounces is enough. But yeah. A little bit. And there's that. Alright, Cassie. Yeah, I'll send you a message with that info about something that what I was thinking about doing for you when I get done with this, or when I get my phone charged again, because I'm not sure when that'll happen exactly. But yeah, and you don't have to. It's just a random idea that I thought might be cool. But time for the mixie. And I guess I'll have to try to find you again on Facebook, because you were a recommended friend when I sent you that request. I don't know if it'll recommend me after you're, who the heck is this, and deleted me. Can't believe you delete the picture of my pretty dog, though. Yeah, my dog just said he's offended too, for the record. Oh, I realized. I grabbed gloves. Why do I always forget to put these on? I hate getting the stuff on your hands. It's so sticky. And if nobody's ever seen how to the proper way to mix resin, I mix it a little faster than I should, but it gets the job done. But in between, mixing it up, you always want to make sure you're getting your sides, scrape the bottom. That's why you see me stop. I change directions every so often. It doesn't matter if you do or not, but it does help in the long run just to be able to get everything mixed in. Because the last thing you want is to have soft spots hit, especially when you put them on a lathe like I do. If you're just casting stuff to be pretty, it's not as critical. I've had soft spots hit before, but usually they go away with time. It just takes those spots a little longer to cure. But I'm also pretty thorough with my mixing. So when I do get the occasional one, it's just taking longer to cure than what the other stuff does. I've heard of soft spots that never go away. Also depends on the brand, which I don't name brands right now because I'm actually in the process of finding the ones I like. I couldn't get any of the ones I normally use this last time, and this was a decent deal on Amazon, had good reviews, so I'll give it a shot. I'm pretty sure I've heard of people using this one before. And actually, that might have been a smaller kit now that I think about it, but it sets up fairly quick, which, depending on what you're doing, is nice and not nice. You do deep pours like some of the stuff I do with some of my resin bowls. This is absolutely not the stuff to use if you're gonna put it on a lathe and custom shape it and make it yourself. You want you want what they call a deep pour, which is a very slow setting resin. That stuff I can move it like it's a gel for, I think it's 2.5 days before it finally gets hard enough to where I can't move it around just by, I don't know if you can see on this, but just by picking it up and doing that, how that'll move it moves like it's a syrup. Alright. Now, let's start with this guy because I need to get him in a pressure pot. And I'm not pouring this on every camera. I'm a professional. And it's too late to stop, so. Here it is. Hard to see anyway because it's clear going into white. But the trick is, it's in the red cup on the right top of your screen. The trick to pouring resin like this is just go slow. You want a thin stream. It helps minimize how many air bubbles you get. And yeah. So, and it doesn't take much to do the base of these glasses like I'm got started over here. It's really the whole reason I jumped on to do this. I need 2 more lines on here. And then we're going to pour the rest in these cups. And then, really hard to judge depth. Holy cow. You know what? Ooh. I just saw evidence of a lump, which means that potentially wasn't mixed up well enough. But with just the one, I'm not that concerned about it. And once I get done mixing these 2 guys up, that's clean resin, so I can still use it for what I want it, or why I grabbed that one. Oh, there's junk everywhere. And we're going to add our colored powder. Definitely don't breathe this stuff. More than I wanted, but it'll work. These colored powders are mica powder. It's some of them actually have microscopic bits of metal in there to help give it a shiny, shimmery color. Can't promise the camera picking that up, but it gives it a little sparkle. So when you're going for water, I don't mind a little glittery sparkle. Otherwise, I'm not a fan of glitter. Too many years of cleaning limousines, especially after parties. And we just pour the rest between these two cups. I want a bit more of the dark blue because that's going to be my deeper water. And then I do have a little bit left over. Normally I have different projects I use that I keep going for extra resin, but I'll actually pour it straight into there. I apologize if you can't really see the color transition happening because it is pretty, but this is, again, I just kind of threw this together last second, so I didn't have time to get all my lighting and stuff set up. Hi, Chris. But yep, so get that in there. It's funny, seems like every time you're in here, Chris, I'm playing with resin. Which I won't deny is kind of addictive to watch. At least it is for me, because I pick up all kinds of new tips and tricks and techniques, so. And I just pour this around here. I want a nice base layer for that. I didn't grab my heat gun or the white alcohol ink I need. Nice. All right. And actually, I think I mixed up just enough, so I'll pour the rest onto Lego. And yeah, just push that over into there. I thought you were in here one other time. My bad. Like I said on CJ's show earlier, I'm horrible with names, especially if I can't put a face to it. So, and we take the lighter blue and pour up on what I'm trying to make be the beach. And what I might do tomorrow is mix up an ounce or two and pour into the recess of the bottom of this glass in order to make that look like a dry beach up underneath. But I got to make sure this is hardened up first. And I have got to go and grab a thing of alcohol ink and my heat gun, because I am not a professional and I did not grab everything I need the first time, and a bit of denatured alcohol for this guy. So we'll pour the rest of this extra resin in here, because it's not enough to do much for the other thing I'm doing with it. This is where these silicone bowl mixing cups are kind of nice, because you can just squeeze it all out. And then it pops back into shape. See? Pops right back. Alright. So let me go grab that stuff. And then I will do my little water effect to make this look more like the ocean. Pop this guy in the pressure pot. And I might just call it a night because I don't really feel like going outside to make a bunch of noise and making the neighbors mad today. Not that I think they actually get mad, but it's cold and I just don't want to go outside. So I will be right back. All I'm seeing is your profile picture there, Chris. But I'll be right back. And yeah. Oh, I need my pinky here. All right. Yeah. I'm back. Oh. I'm not seeing my DNA. That's why it's not. That's why I don't see it downstairs. It's up here. This is my level of intelligence when I'm tired. Right. I thought that was a bad thing, but nothing crazy. All right. Now I just need to slide this over. Hoping this will cooperate. Cool. It did. All right. Now, since I'm trying to do a bit of an ocean scene, this is just white denatured alcohol, yeah. Alcohol ink. You just put a few drops around where the two colors meet. If I was doing a bigger project than this, I would actually use a lot more and actually just spread it randomly. But with the low amount of resin on this one, I can actually mess up the chemistry to where it won't dry properly. I'm sorry, it won't cure properly. It doesn't actually dry, it cures. So hence my itty bitty drops. I don't know if you can tell, but they are slowly spreading out. So we come in here with the heat gun. We'll smear them around. And if I was going to do a table or something, and I have done tabletops in the past like this, I come through one way, and I'll press the white, which is eventually it'll look like sea foam, like a wave breaking. I'll push one of them up towards the front. Need a clean stick. So, and this is another way of getting it to mix a little quicker. That way, it'll, you just come back and do that. Sorry, I can't talk and focus on this, but I want to make sure this gets all set right first. There, I see it. Okay, thanks, Chris. But yeah, once you get it like that, it's easier to make it look more realistic with multiple layers of resin. If you can actually get that white to build up in several layers at the same time, which is a trick I use when I do make tabletops. But this being barely a 1/4 inch thick, it's with this amount of resin, this will take a couple days before it's really truly hard, which does take a lot of extra time for stuff to cure. So I only do 1 pour on them because that cuts down your drying time to about 1.5 days. But just a little denatured alcohol because I see I spilled a little resin on my desk, and that picks it up just almost instantly when it's a small amount. And you can also spray it directly onto resin, and it'll actually pop all your little air bubbles. So yeah. And if I was doing this for a production run and not just being sociable and being like, hey, everybody, and making content, I could actually get this done a lot faster. But yeah, I actually like making stuff and videos, so that's why I do it. But now my little Lego dude, which is right here, I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes. If anybody's got questions, I know Chris, I think you're still in here. If anybody else has questions on how to do stuff, what I do to make things, I mean, I can sit and chill, or I can take off. It don't matter to me. I need to get a few other things done that are boring, like typing up a brief description of my business, stuff I can do, because I just got a spot in the store, and everything just finally got confirmed today. They're opening, I think it's next week. Holy cow, they're opening in 4 days. 5 days from now, 4 days at midnight. Yeah, soft open is May 9th. Grand opening, I believe they said, is Saturday, May 11th. Nice. I'm actually off that day too. I'm going to be there. But yeah, so I'll be there. I just need to drop this guy in a pressure pot. I would put this in, but I don't have a way to keep this flat for the resin to set flat, so it just has to stay out in the air. If I do get off of here from the live, I will be hitting it with the heat gun like I just did. Probably 1 to 2 more times, depending on how it's looking. Let me slide this over here real quick. see if we can see inside of this cup. Right there, see that big old honking air bubble? That's what I'm waiting to try to get to come out. And actually, I think that one's on the surface, so I should be able to pop it. Yes, it is. And yes, it did. Yeah, all those little air bubbles. I'm just trying to let those come out, work their way up to the top. When I'm doing tables and stuff, I just recently learned that I can take denatured alcohol and spray in a little spray mister or spray bottle thingy. DA for denatured alcohol. You can spray that over the top and it pops the bubbles faster than what you can with the heat gun. And then you're not heating the resin and causing it to cure faster or slower in some spots, which can also cause soft spots. And just a light mist over the top, and anything at the on the surface or near the surface it just disappears. It's amazing. Next time I do a tabletop, I'm going to do that just so I can get it on video, because it really is addictive to watch, and I want to get 2 nightstands made for my bedroom soon, since I made my bed a few years ago and been wanting something in there ever since, and haven't taken the time to do it. But yeah. So, anybody else got any fun questions or anything like that? Because otherwise, I'm just going to pull the pressure pot up here and we're going to fill it up full of air. Once we get it, if I do it right, you can get these nice clear castings like this guy, which, by the way, the rings are because this is the cup. I use these cups to cast these out with. Then I throw them on my lathe, do a little magic. I have a live stream where I did the first one. This is the second one. Make little eggs. Thinking about selling them if anybody'd actually be seriously interested in buying anything like them. And they're nice little death guard. I actually have 2 in the other room that I got from a YouTube maker that got me into lathe and resin work, as well as a little lidded pot it just looks cool, and it was something I could afford by the main influence I had for getting me into doing this type of work. That my dog demands attention because he feels neglected, apparently. But, alright. Go lay down. Go lay down. I would argue that it's all special. I mean, no 2 pieces look exactly the same. Everything's hand-shaped, handcrafted. Even if, I might use a power saw because, I'm not that into it. I like to get stuff done, but I've made the bed frame that my memory foam mattress sits on that I sleep on every day. I've made almost all of my aquarium stands. Coasters, pens, pencils, honey dippers. Sorry, I had a plastic bag get in front of a space heater. That smelled great. Yeah, I do a little bit of everything, and it all means something to me, because even if it's not something I'm keeping, I like to give people exactly what they want. I just did a custom order a couple weeks ago for a lady who wanted something for her daughter for her graduation gift, and I didn't have exactly what she wanted. And while we were sitting there, she was telling me what she was looking for, and I actually found a way to make it work, just sitting at a craft show talking to her. And she looked at me when I was done. She was like, "Did you really just figure that out sitting here?" And I was like, "Yeah." So but it's time to get this guy in the pressure pot. I apologize for the shakiness and the mess because my office is an absolute pigsty right now. There ain't very much light, but hey. I'm really liking this smooth mountain. Come on. Nope. Okay. Like that. We'll put Mr. Lego in there. And then look at my lake pass. This pressure pot will do the job of me, or of what I do when I'm hitting this with the heat gun later for the other casting. Except it does it with air pressure and not heat. But when you're dealing with something that thin, it's a lot less likely that you're going to get big difference in heat. I mean, you might get a difference here from here, but that's not going to cause a soft spot between the two. Whereas if that was in the thickness of it, and especially if you're going to cut into it on a lathe after, that's when it can really mess with you. So, but for like coasters and stuff, once it's hard enough once I can pick it up and it holds its shape and it's not floppy, that's when I pull the mold off. This is going to be fun. Yeah. Once I can pull the mold off, I'll let it sit for another week or so just to make sure everything is nice and hard. I totally just realized I put this with the gauge facing this way. Where's my camera? Yeah, the gauge is facing this way, and I'm looking at it this way, so I get to do this blind. At least my air compressor is plugged in. Sounds like it's running. Yep, it's running. And that's what I did not want to have happen. This is a relatively cheap one, so I can only get up to 40 psi. But, alright. That bleed off valve will slowly take it down to where it'll quit popping, and once that's done, then we are good to go. And that's where this pot's gonna live for the night. Hopefully by tomorrow morning it's nice and hard and ready to be worked with. Hey, it finally flopped over now that I'm almost done. But yeah. Oh. Since I'm in here and I've got it behind me. But wait. Crank all these guys down. Slide that back. That needs to go out to the barn. I really like the way these things look, and now that I know what I did wrong with the first couple, the rest of them are going to look even better. Always trying to improve, and as always, I never turn down custom work unless it's something totally insane. But I like totally insane, so never be afraid to ask. But I painted this black, but this is the actual wood that I use to get these guys before I cut it up. And I think I'm going to do this whole thing as an ocean scene, or I might do half ocean, half like a intergalactic space with lots of blues and blues, purples, oranges, and then do like an ocean scene on another part of it. I'm still debating how I want to cut it, because that'll determine where I put everything. But I'm guessing most everybody's in here from CJ's show. This is a lot of times what I'm doing in the background, because if I'm not moving, I fall asleep. So this is actually the piece that one of these holes that I drilled out is what I used to make this. But instead of pre-drilling these holes, the way I did these ones, which do save me a little bit of work, what I want to do is cut them and then sand them to this angle and get it round so that'll fit in the bottom. That way I'll be able to it'll look a little better once it's turned down. That's one of the changes I'm making. But I mean, you can see how I did the different scenes. Like I've got a little lava field. And this, I'm debating what other colors I want to add to that. My green here, I'm going to be putting some water or like some streams in. This paint looks absolutely amazing for rivers and stuff. It's just a real deep metallic blue. And as you turn it, it's got like little pieces of glitter in it to make it shimmer and shiny. I might do a star field over here. I do have some glow-in-the-dark paint on this side, which I actually don't even know if it works. But doesn't really glow, but I'll throw some more on and see if we can't get it to work. I've also got some glow-in-the-dark paint over here. I want to take some more red through the rest of this because I want this whole section lava. If I get a real thin piece, or I can sand it down thin and get a height differential, I might get a Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker Lego guy and do a custom egg for myself with those two doing their fight on Mustafar. You know, when Obi-Wan had the high ground, because I am not a nerd at all. And I just saw you. I've just been ranting and raving. Don't mind me. I'd like to think it does too, Chris. Like I say, everything I do is handmade. Whether it's painted like this, or even I always have one on me. Even if it's just a pen that I take from square to round and put together. I mean, it's handmade. All my pens are reusable. You just replace the ink or the cartridges. Here's another one that I did. This is one of the earlier ones before I realized I could get them cheaper than all this, but this fancy stuff just looks amazing. But I mean, it's, you know, everything is refillable, reusable. Got to make sure the spring gets on there right, or it fights me to go back together. I mean, and I only release top quality stuff, which is why I like the glass I made. It's actually the second attempt because I had to re-burn it because I found a better paint to use to engrave an image. So, but yeah, I mean, and this is all stuff that I did when I was learning how to turn, that I won't sell just because there are minor flaws with them. Like I know this one has it for sure. Like there's a hole missing underneath the clip. It's hard to see. There it is. But yeah, you can kind of see where that's missing. Just saw another one. I blew out a little piece there. It's hard to see on camera. It's easier in person. Plus, the fitment on these is horrible. It was before I knew a different finishing trick. And there's another one where it's got that harsh lip. It's just, but I mean, this is, I look at this and a lot of people would say, well, that's a failure. I look at this and say, that was a learning experience. Like, here's one of the first expensive blank ones that I did. There's a guy that lives in the city close to me that makes these. But, I blew a chunk out there, and I'm not afraid to admit when I make mistakes. There's one that I put together wrong. This end should have been pressed into there, and by the time I caught it, it was too late. One of the rare ones I won't sell just because I like it. But that's made out of palm wood. Black palm specifically. Yeah, that one's black palm. I don't think it'll work, but I'll try it. And some of them are just novelty pens. Others of them are just, I think they all look cool. But let's see if I can. Like this one's got a built-in kaleidoscope. I thought about doing that too, but that's something that's for the red and for the eggs. I'm going to keep a couple pieces on hand because this is actually very difficult to find. This is a wood. It's called I think it's red molly or molly. I only know of it growing in Australia, and it is so hard to find these burls. I was fortunate enough for the store I go to, had 3 of them sitting in there, and they had them on sale for, it was like 50 to 60% off depending on which size it was. Because they'd been sitting there for years and they couldn't move them, and I didn't have right around $100 each to buy them. And yeah, that's about how much this ran. I think I saw the price tag on the back. I don't have the tag, but I have the number. I don't know if it'll show up, but I mean, this whole piece of wood before I drilled the holes in it was $107. I got it for, it was 50 or 60. So, I mean, when I can get a deal like that, I'm all over it. So I went in to buy one. When I found out what the price was, I went back over and grabbed the other 2, and the guy behind the counter looked at me funny. He was like, you really want all 3 of them? I was like, heck yeah, I do. I've got plans for these. I've been wanting them for a while. I just didn't have the money. I've been saving up to get this one. And I was going to grab a couple other things from another store, but if these are on sale, I don't want to risk missing out on them. So I'll take all 3 right now. That's how I find my deals. But yeah, I feel like I need something for everyone to look at. But yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for stuff. Like, I found these shells at Dollar Tree. And actually, if I have the right number in here, I'm actually going to make a game called Mancala, and those are going to be the game pieces. I'm going to use seashells because I've never seen it done before, so why not? But yeah, I mean, like, in tomorrow, I'm debating I may or may not do. The red one in that case, I've got one. Those are the ones that I've got in here that I'm actually not ever planning on selling just because of how bad they are. But I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that, I don't know if those will show up or not in this angle, but the stylus tip right here ripped off when I was putting this one together. But I mean, this is a pen made of olive wood that I get shipped in from Bethlehem, and then I put it, but it was right at the very end that blew out. So Like, I won't sell it because of that, but I still keep it around for me. I've got 3 cases of pens that I've got sitting out that they're actually sitting in my car right now, that, and I'll sell those in a heartbeat just because I made them to sell for other people to get enjoyment out of them. The ones I have in there, I'm weird in that I hang on to all my early projects. Like the first egg I made out of these. I'll be right back. I just did it the other day on a live stream. I also got the 2 that I bought. Man, that's right here. It's very hard to see into the detail. You can, but you have to get it. You have to look at it just the right angle. This is not one that I'll ever sell because it was literally the first one I ever made. I actually have, once I get my shops organized, I'm gonna have a shelf dedicated just to the first project I made of something. Just, it comes in handy when you're having those days where you're just kind of down on yourself and just, oh, this looks horrible, I can't get this right, this just blew up. It's kind of nice to be able to turn around and just have a shelf of early stuff when you didn't know what you were doing, just so you can be, hey, look at how far I've come in my skill level and what I can do and what I can offer. So, I mean, this is what I'd like to get to in making these eggs. And this is the exact same type of wood made by a guy by the name of Ben's Works on YouTube. He's a cool dude, lives in Australia. It's where I actually had both of these shipped from. And here's another one. I believe he 3D printed the little tree in there. I mean, I bought these just to support him because, I like to support the creators that helped me out a lot. That's why I'm on a lot of times with CJ. He's a friend of mine. We used to work together, and I like how he runs his show and how he's always not necessarily assigning blame, but just trying to find the truth of what happened. That's why I'm on almost every one of his lives that I can be on. I like that. But yeah. So what else? What else do I have to work on in here? And why not? I'm going to fool around with this for a little bit. It'll paint those too. That's how my glass coasters start. And I paint them this green paint. Once I engrave them, then I can put pretty much any image you want on them, any saying. There are things I refuse to burn, but others can. But yeah. Ow! Ran over my toe with my chair wheel. That felt amazing. Oops, I can't get into my drawer with this here. Which one's that? I'm not sure which one you are talking about there, Chris. There. I'm not sure which red. Are you still talking about the red pen? I'm not sure which one you're talking about, or I don't remember showing one red one. Oh, or are you talking about that one? That's the only two that I showed that are red. I got a few others in here, but some of them I made specifically for me, like my Paduke pen. And some of these other ones, like this one, when I bought this kit initially, I needed something to be able to test it with. So I carried this for several months, actually, beating the crap out of it, carrying it at work, using it every chance I get, just to make sure that the mechanism works, nothing gives out. So I figure if I can't break it, I mean, I know I'll mark it up, but and yeah, CJ definitely is. You should. I'm really happy I met him the way I did, which was actually working with him, because you know, I worked with him almost every day, except I was on night shift, he was on days, or afternoons actually. So I would come in, he'd give me just a little info on what's going on the days he was there late or I got there super early. But every Friday we worked together. You know, he'd do one part of the job, I'd do the next, and it was, you know, if I went in and I just wasn't feeling doing this part of it this week, I could tell him and we'd swap, just no problem. He didn't care. We just wanted to get the job done. And I know management loved us when we were together, because I think we got about twice as much done as what anybody else could do solo. And when I say twice as much, I mean if they did 10 units, we would get done 20. So, you know, or we'd get through 22, you know what I mean? We'd get a little bit more done even after you divide it back out, because, you know, I did have to work, he did have to work. And I mean, it's just awesome, dude. When he hit me up to get involved with the show a little bit, to start watching it, because I didn't even know he was doing anything. It took me a little bit to get used to it, because I was never into true crime, but it's, you know what, I know it's a good dude. So that's when I just sat down and watching it. So I knew you were talking about. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. Honestly, it was the only thing that made my only day off being called in by 10 a.m. tolerable, because it's like, well, at least I get to go work with CJ. But I had a little paint thing. I didn't realize this was sitting behind me. Here's my extra resin project right now. We'll fill that up with resin. That's all loose in there right now. As I fill it up, I'll put some stuff in the middle so it doesn't take as much resin. But I need more of a base before I do that. And then I'll turn this into a bowl, hopefully by the end of the year. So what I'm thinking about doing is doing one every year, and then having that just be like my last project of the year. I'll do it on live. Not sure if I want to sell them or if I just want to put them up on the shelf to say, this is what I did this year. Try to have a little bit of everything. Like, before I'm done, I'll have a little bit of resin from these eggs in there. So but I need to get back to Michael tomorrow. I think. But who's that? CJ? Because I don't trust people lightly, and the fact that I'm as involved with his show as I am should tell you something. Because I'm kind of a, I don't want to say a recluse or a hermit, because those have weird connotations that come along with them. But I am definitely somebody that prefers to be left alone. And for me to be on and to be as comfortable as I am to jump up on a panel with him, you know, that's not like me at all. And honestly, there are people that know me that can't believe that I actually won't tell, but they wouldn't believe that I'm on there as often as I am. But you know, it's not the one I was looking for, but it'll work. But yeah. Might do this for a little bit longer. I might jump off here about, it's 12:24 my time. I might jump off in another half hour or so, maybe 20 minutes. And if you need to go to bed, man, feel free. So I'm gonna touch some of this up, add some glow paint on, and talk to myself for a little bit, and then probably about 1:45 I'm gonna shut it down. I need to get some stuff typed up, get it loaded into my laser program, and then I'm going to be get all that done, get that loaded up, ready to burn tomorrow. I got to get a sign burnt for my display table, doing that first thing in the morning, and then I might just play in the shop once I get the dog some food and a couple other things first thing in the morning. Now, I might be live for most of the day tomorrow, I don't know. So nice. Yeah, I can never handle working in a daycare. I love kids, but I don't know if I could do that for a day job. My hat's off to you. And this is just some glow-in-the-dark paint. It dries almost clear, so I'm wanting some of these to glow in the dark, so I'm gonna do this. I'm thinking about doing some metallic blue on that, maybe turning one of these little sections into a lake or a little pond or something. That next big one I've got to paint up is going to be a royal pain. So I'm going to do that during CJ's lives when I'm on panel and just kind of chilling back. If you ever hear what sounds like a brush scraping, you actually know what's going on. I mainly do it though, because if I don't, I will, honest to God, fall asleep. I've done it several times on this channel, and I feel horrible every time I do it. But oh, okay. I might have misread that too. I'm good for that. Really hoping this actually glows this time. I mixed it up better. I'm putting it on a little heavier. I think I am going to make that into a Starfield universe type looking thing. Yeah, and the true crime stuff's definitely interesting, but I can only take so much before it just grates my nerves. So that's why I'm happy I have my outlets, because I'd be losing my mind otherwise. Okay. Okay. I'm a night shifter on my day job, so I'm used to being up all night. So I'll probably be up till 3, 4 o'clock my time. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Oh shoot! I'm okay. The very top of this just got into that mold a little bit and got a little resin out. So once I'm done painting on this, which is going to be after I finish up this last little bit, I'm going to be throwing this onto the floor upside down. Actually, I'm just going to hang that corner over, and I got to get that up off my desk. Not that I really care if this desk gets too messy, because it is an El Cheapo. Once it's shot, I'm building my own. But Dillon's. I'm not familiar with Dillon's. At first, I thought that said Dillard's, but yeah, currently I work in a foundry, playing in molten metal all day. It's not bad. It's just I'm tired of working in something that, if we lose control over how everything's running in there, we can take out, I think they said, with the size of our furnace, up to 5 city blocks around the entire plant if it was to go up. And we've never had any true close calls before, but last July I went in one day and everybody's standing outside staring at the building, and that was one of those situations you just never want to see when you're going into work. Like, nobody knew what was going on, nobody knew how bad the situation was, or what would even, at that point they knew it happened on the inside, but nobody outside the building knew what was going on. And like, our close member of management, when it happened, I think they said he was like an hour and 15 minutes away. But I mean, and we just had a plug fail on our furnace and it was leaking molten metal. But when, somebody called the fire department, there's nothing they can do for it, so they're just kind of sitting there watching it burn. As long as there's nobody in danger, there's nothing they could do. So we had to send our crew in and get it under control. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be doing on there. I am in the process. If you watched the last one I did before this, I was working on getting some cutting boards made. That's going to be my next thing I want to get into, is cutting boards and the like. I actually have a acrylic handle mold, so I can throw a router with a certain bits in it, and I can cut a handle on it for like a charcuterie board. And then I actually want to get into making actual end grain cutting boards as well. Like, that's one thing that you'd have to find me at a craft show or hit me up direct for, though. At least until I get my website figured out and up and running, because I know nothing about making them. If you can't tell, I'm not a techie, I'm a woodworker. So you ask me how to do something online, you ask me how to build something, I'll give you 4 different ideas in about 10 seconds and the way to do it. including how I would do it and how to make it harder and how to make it easier. Ironic that I usually fall about in the middle of complexity. But yay, that's all cleaned up. That'll be fine because it's just a little bit on there. Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything else I could really do because I don't have it in me to do the stuff that requires not much dexterity to paint and go down the lines, which is really what the main thing I need to do for the rest of that. I think I might just be ending it now. But yeah, so if I do, I'm going to try. It'll probably be around. Trying to think. I've got a possible interview at 1, so I gotta be free for that. And I try not to trip over CJ. Like if I know if he's doing a live stream like that new series he's doing tomorrow, I'll probably be listening to that while I'm in the shop. So I might go live for a couple hours in the morning, and then maybe between his shows. Depends on what all I have going on. But yeah, so, and I mean, because he's always telling me, dude, go live when I'm live. It's all good. Get your views, and it's like, yeah, but I like being on there and hanging with him. It's too much. So, yeah. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna hop off of here. I gotta get some stuff typed up and get my phone on a charger because I'm pretty sure it is flat dead, which I don't like doing. Yep. Dead battery. iPhone is findable. But yeah, so I'm gonna get that done. I gotta get some stuff, like I said, typed up for a little sign I'm gonna burn in the morning for the new storefront. If anybody is watching this in replay and if there's anything you guys want to see done, if I see it in the morning, which I will be checking this before I go out to the barn, if there's something specific you want to see made, if I have the ability, I'll hop on a live and do that. If you just want to do what I usually do, just do whatever strikes my fancy, I can do that. And if I don't get any responses at all, I very well might actually set up a phone, record how to do something. Like I've been wanting to do how to make a pen from start to finish. So I might do all of that. I might do a video like that tomorrow so I can get that edited down and do a couple other things like how to make a top. I mean, it sounds super basic, but I mean, they're addictive, they're fun. I've had a lot of people tell me it's fun to watch it made. I think I have one in the other room. I'll be right back. And it took a second to find it, plus I grabbed a couple other times. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, tops, they're basic, but they're just fun. If you can't tell, I spin a few of them. Yeah, I mean, tops. I also have wine bottle stoppers. Some of them, like this one, are fun. Have a little corkscrew built in. They just thread together. Another type of pen, which I just recently discovered. I'm currently trying this one out as a one to sell. When I have a plastic mechanism and I don't get a clear click, it always makes me a little nervous. So this is one I just made the other day and I'm currently trying out. And I can make the middle section, which is what I actually shape. I can do that in any type of wood or acrylic that I have or can buy if I can get access to it. But yeah, you never know what this boy is going to be up to next. I might even just jump on and play around with some other. There's another type of top that I've been wanting to do. I might actually bite the bullet and do that tomorrow. And this is one I just pulled out of my. I actually pulled it off a display the other day because it is a very unique shape, and I want to try to do a few more of them. But yeah, and all of like anything I do on the lathe, I actually started off as it was a square this way, and a rectangular piece of wood in this way. But yeah, so with that, I'm hopping off. Hope everybody has a good night. I'm going to leave the music on for a minute after I jump off. And yeah, I will probably be on later sometime tomorrow for a little bit. Might be longer than a little bit. I'm honestly not sure. It all depends on what I get up to. So hope everybody has a good night. Safe day, safe night, safe day at work tomorrow. If you're only following me, get your butt over to follow Evil CJ show. Yeah. Other than that, have a good night.